always had a fascination with, well, history, but the best way I could connect to his history was by finding things that people threw away 100 years ago or 200 years ago. And so that includes finding sea glass that's from bottles that are 100 years old or more, digging old dump sites for old bottles, and when those spots dry out, I jump in the water and go scuba diving, and the trash that they threw in the water 100 years ago is very oftentimes still sitting down there just waiting to be found. You'll see the channel form down low, and you'll shine the flashlight down into that channel, and that's where the trash wound up. There's another spot that we put in right up here, and it was the first time I ever went scuba diving in my life, and I went into the water, kind of nervous and sketchy, and what am I going to see under there? And within about 100 feet, there was this big skeleton of a dead moose laying on the bottom of the river. But that spot down there, behind that big old maple tree, the trash, I don't know who dumped it. So you kind of used deduction, and you take all the facts you have at hand to try to figure out where people would have disposed of their garbage. It's not somebody's pet. Nowadays you just cart it off to the dump, but back then they generally didn't do that. They might have had a dump in the neighborhood that they threw some trash in, but every single property that you'll see from before 1900 has a spot right on their property somewhere that they dump their trash. That's like 1890. And so I got permission to dig out of that yard, but it might just end right here. It might have been dumped like this, and this is the bottom of it. See that top, that's a really old one. Well, 1870s. Yep, a little more shine, huh? Aha, look at that! Yeah, oh my God! This is from my hometown, Hanover, Massachusetts. W.E. Bonney ink. These go for like $100, $150, but I'm not selling it. I got into it like a lot of little boys did, you know, just finding. My older brother Brad found a dump on the farm that we lived in down in Massachusetts, and then he kind of got over it, whereas I kind of just kept digging, and I was just so fascinated by it. It was like treasure hunting. Hold one. This is Hires root beer extract. It's about 1890. That was a more rare bottle, because this one says for the kidneys, liver, and blood, and it was absolutely 80% alcohol. I can tell this was a cone ink like this, but it was hand blown. It was probably 1850s. So these people were writers. Not a lot of ink bottles from that vintage from a regular house. Usually you'd find that behind like a business owner, whale oil lamp, you know. The wick came through that. This is no value to it, but I'm kind of excited that a bottle this big was down there. And I got deeper into it, and then over the decades developed friendships with lots of other diggers and collectors, and wound up going to bottle shows all over the country, where there's, you know, 200, 300 dealers and 500, 1,000, 2,000 people all showing up to buy and sell and trade and look at what other people have dug. Slash alcohol slash remedy for anything. It's probably the same bottle. This one was embossed. This one just had the label. Really fit together perfect. It's a doll plate at the bottom of a cup. Look at that old tool. The chisel. A lot of people, not a lot of people, but some people are like I am, where they're just you know, so addicted to the digging and the hunting. You could just do it every day if you could.